So for those of you that don't know what the Ninja 90 employee training program is, it was launched in mid-September, and it really is designed to train your team in the migration from QuickBooks Desktop into the cloud, or to make them more efficient in how it is that they're doing things. And they may have QBO experience. It is a platform that is built around QuickBooks Online, since that's what we use in our firm. But it also integrates and has some app components, again, because that is so fundamental and so much about the power of QBO. So the program is designed for managers, firm owners. If you're looking to hire someone for the first time, or you're struggling making the move to the cloud, or you're struggling with someone not getting up to speed as quickly as you need them to. We have learned over the last several years that it was a big challenge. It was a big challenge making that move, and how much downtime you have in between is pretty scary. And so we built this internally for us, and then decided that we were going to, it helped us so much, decided that we were going to take it to market. And so obviously had to tweak it a little bit, take out all the client sensitive information and put it in a little more structured format, because I figured you guys would want a little more structure than what we had. And so the Ninja 90 program was born. It's called the Ninja 90 program because it centers around 90 days. And the goal is that at the end of the 90 days, you have a cloud bookkeeper who is awesome, flies through everything, 100% productive, knows apps, knows QBO. And so the first question I'm always asked is, well, I can't afford to pay somebody for training for 90 days and not have them, producing anything in my firm. I'm not big enough to do that. Hey, we're not big enough to do that. I'm not sure there is any business that's big enough to just invest 90 days of pure training time and not get any ROI back from that team member. So the program is designed around, I'm going to say 3 to 4 hours. We ran it through some beta testers to get some stats, but more than anything else, and feedback from people that have purchased it, as to how long it was actually taking people. We estimated it between 3 and 4 hours a day for them to go through this training. And the feedback that we've received is if they have some QBO experience, it can go faster, usually between an hour and a half and 2 hours a day. And that's on average. There are some weeks that have more content, some weeks that have less content. So if they have QBO experience, it can be between an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. But if they don't have any experience, it's usually between 3 to 4, probably on average, it was 3.5 hours a day. So the program is designed around 3 to 4 hours a day of training, and then 3 to 4 hours that they're working in your firm. And based on how the program is laid out, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, the employee or the team member is productive in your firm at the end of the first week, which is awesome. And I hope that you're as excited about that as I am, because I thought that was pretty cool. That by the end of the first week, they're actually working in your firm and are doing work on client work, and as well taking the load off of you training them. Because you probably hire people like I've hired people in the past. Your team's overloaded and you need another body in the seat. You're overloaded and you need another body in the seat. And so the new employee starts, you sit them down day one and you hand them a client. Here, I want you to work on this client. Oh, you don't know how to do accounts payable? Okay, here's how you do accounts payable. They go through that work. You hand them another client. Oh, you don't know how to do payroll? Okay, here's how you do payroll. And that the training takes place on an as-needed basis and not necessarily in any kind of logical order. And most people in our profession, we're very linear. We're very linear learners. And so, and we've done that, where that's the way that we were training them. And we had some turnaround and we had turnover. And when we had the exit interviews with these team members, they said our training sucked, that there was no path, that they never knew what they were going to learn, that they never knew, what they had to do, and were afraid that every time something new was put on their desk, that they had to learn something new. and that there was no order more than anything else to the training. And so really that's what the Kninja 90 program does, is it puts some order around the training process. It has some measurable expectations so that the employee knows what it is they're supposed to learn at what time frame and what pace. And although it is based on 90 days, you can speed it up. You don't have to do it over 90 days. You can certainly accelerate it if you want, but we've based it on a 90-day program. So I'm going to start with sharing a couple screens. So let me share with you my roadmap, which of course I closed as I was trying to shut everything down and get my connection going. So bear with me 1 second as I try and find this roadmap. I don't have it because I have everything on my computer, and that's the problem, is I've got too much stuff on my computer. So how's everyone doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Okay, I think I have found it. There we go. Okay, so I'm hoping you guys can see this. And for those of you that are in the audience, if you can tell me if you can see something that says Kninja 90-day roadmap, that would be awesome. And let me just, okay, so Sean just texted me that he didn't see that we are having it somewhere else. So Sean, you'll be able to watch this later. Okay, so it's relocated here. And let me see. Okay, so the roadmap is up. So here is an outline of what the 90-day training looks like. You'll see that in the red circles are the different weeks, so 13 weeks or 90 days, and it has a systematic order of what we go through. So week 1 is, actually day 1 is the welcome. We talk about our culture and we talk about our internal processes, which is usually something that you should also be doing as you go through the new hire process. If it's an employee that already exists, obviously you don't need to do the activities for day 1. And then we start on accounts payable. So the way that all of the modules are laid out is we start out by teaching them how to do it fundamentally and kind of manually in QuickBooks Online. So if we take the accounts payable example, we walk them through, how do you set up a supplier? How do you set up a bill? How do you pay a bill? And if you're paying a bill, how do you pay it by check or credit card or EFT or wire? What's the difference between an expense and a check? So really so that they have a solid understanding of how accounts payable works in the QuickBooks Online program. And we do that before we introduce any automation, which is the next phase. We start talking about how to automate things. So we introduce HubDoc and Receipt Bank in the introduction to the app ecosystem related to accounts payable. And the way that the reasoning behind it is, as we know, the automation isn't always 100% the way that it's supposed to be. It breaks, it pushes things across that, aren't going in the way that they're supposed to. And in order for your employee to understand how to fix it, they have to know how it was supposed to go in. So everything that we do first is we teach them how to do it manually, and then we walk them through how to do it through the app and automate it so that they do have a solid understanding all the way through. So we go through the accounts payable, introduction to an app ecosystem, which is HubDoc and Receipt Bank. And so at the end of week 3, we don't want you to take our word for it that what we've taught them is enough. And so we actually send them out to the external app partners to their certification programs to get the certifications. So at the end of week 3, your employee is going to be HubDoc certified. We then start walking into bank feeds and bank rules, bank and credit card reconciliations, and then we walk through some workflows as to how all these pieces work together and some advanced apps. So at the end of week 6, so the advanced apps that we introduce are Receipt Bank, and we do advanced Receipt Bank and Pluto. So at the end of week 6, they're going to go out and get their Receipt Bank and their Pluto certification. Now we've got a really solid understanding of accounts payable. So what you want to do and what we guide you through, because you also get a manager portal where you can actually see how your employee is doing. There are quizzes that are at the end of every section. There's practice exercises that they download. They get a sample company of QuickBooks Online and a sample company for Receipt Bank to actually go through and do the exercises. And your manager dashboard, and I'm going to walk you through what this all looks like in the background, just so that you have a solid understanding, though, of what it is that what you're getting. The manager dashboard will actually show you where they are and how they're progressing. So at the end of week 6, HubDoc certified, Receipt Bank certified, and Pluto certified. Then we get into sales and receivables. We cover inventory, how to set up a QBO company, as well as some basic reporting. We then walk them through payroll. And the payroll piece that we're walking them through is WagePoint. So actually they will go out at the end of week 9 and get their WagePoint certification as well. Sales tax filing, so how to file a GST return and an HST return, how to make the payments. And then we start to get into some of the more complex topics. So at the end of week 9, basic bookkeeping, no problem, all the way across the board for your clients. By the end of week 10, what we're walking them through are some advanced tips and tricks that we've learned from the bookkeeping perspective with QuickBooks Online. Again, there are tons of things that are out there, that videos on YouTube that are teaching you how to do things, but they tend to be from the software perspective. And all of the training that we've done, that we've put together, is from the bookkeeping and the bookkeeper perspective. So week 10, 11, we're talking about financial statement reviews, and we actually walk them through how do you review a balance sheet and how do you review an income statement, and then get into some of the advanced reporting. So filters and customization and automating your reports so that they go out automatically from QBO, as well as the budgeting feature. Week number 12 is QBO cleanups. So we're walking them through, here's a messy file, how do you clean it up? And actually the QBO file that we give them as the sample, interestingly enough, it has data uploaded into it, and we gave them a messy file. They don't necessarily know that until they get to week 12, and a little bit probably when they're doing the balance sheet and the income statement review. But in week 12, they actually have to clean up that database. And it's actually quite a fun project, or I think it is. I think cleanups are fun, though. And then also fixing errors at month end. And then week 13, we go through the multi-currency. So at the end of week 8, they're QBO Basic certified. And at the end of week 13, they're QBO Advanced certified. So that's kind of the roadmap and the layout of what it looks like. So I'm going to see if there are any questions. And hopefully I'm going to be able to see this online to see if there are actually any questions. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay. I'm just having like no luck today at all with my my technology. So let's see if there are any questions. Okay, so I don't see any questions. I've got some people watching with me. Hey, Steve. Steve's watching with me. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay. So if you have any questions, I think I have it up here now. So do feel free to pop any questions in the chat. Okay, so now I'm going to actually take you through into the back end of, if I can find it, there we go, the Kninja 90 program. Okay, so we're logged in to the back end of the Kninja 90 program. And as you'll see, there are some icons. So the first one is only available for the manager when they log in. So they have a manager's dashboard. And then below are the 13 weeks that I just walked you through on the roadmap with the modules. Okay, so there's week 4 and 5 is banking, 6 is workflows and Pluto, and then all the way through week 13, which is multi-currency and QBO Advanced. So let's start with the manager's dashboard. So you as a firm leader And I think my internet is slow just because I've got so many things going on here. So you as a firm leader or a manager or an owner, you need to know what is going on, where your employees at, what they've learned, what they haven't learned. And that more than anything is what we're doing here. Is it's going to show you your employee's name, and it's going to show you their progress through each of the modules. So every module has objectives that are attached to it that the employee has to complete. And so once they have completed those modules or achieved those objectives, when they check them off there, and some of them they can't check off, they actually have to do things in order for them to get checked off. The check marks are going to show up on your dashboard for your employee. So this is module 1. And for module 1, they got 87% on the quiz, which is talking about a traditional accounting practice versus a cloud practice. And they have finished all of the tasks within the module. Awesome. If we jump on over to module 5, which is bank reconciliations, they haven't gone through this yet. So it shows you zeros. There's no progress bar that's going across the top that's telling you where it is or how far they are in the program. So this is for the manager side. What you also receive is a manager handbook. And if I was smart, I would have had that open as well. But if you, what you also get is a manager's handbook that walks you through week by week what it is that the topics are that your employee is learning and what they're able to do in your office based on what we've taught them. So it's assuming that they don't have any bookkeeping knowledge. Obviously, if they do, they're going to be able to do more than just what we outlined. But as a basis based on them going through our program, we're telling you what it is that they're capable of doing now. And then we tell you what kinds of work you should give them from a practical standpoint for your clients in your office to support what it is that they're learning. So we try as much as possible to support you in this entire venture because we know how hard it is to hire and how much resources or how many resources, both time and money, it is to get someone up to speed. Okay, so that's the manager's dashboard. The manager also has access to all the modules if they want to see a specific example, or if your team member has a question, then you're able to log in and also look at all of the content. We also have a chat support channel for them. If they have any questions, they can ask us. There are separate ones for the students and separate ones for the managers so that the managers can speak to each other as well. And maybe you want to commiserate and share some of the challenges that you're having either with your employee going through the program or being able to support them, or even other team challenges. The purpose of the manager chat channel is manager to manager peer support system. And then as well on the employee side, it's the same thing. Okay, so let's dive into an actual module. So this is week 1 and 2. We cover accounts payable. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. Okay, so the entire program is designed around a story because everyone learns better with a story. So the entire program is designed around Nina, and everybody should know Nina, which is our avatar. And Nina has started a bookkeeping practice. And of course, Nina's bookkeeping practice is called Nina's Numbers, and numbers is with a K because of why else wouldn't it be? And she has her first client who owns a gym, which is called Build-A-Body. And so this entire program is following Nina in Nina's Numbers and her client, Build-A-Body. So as Build-A-Body grows, the knowledge that Nina needs to know, there's a lot of K's in there, grows. So she hires her first employee. We need to introduce payroll. She is a gym, so she's a service industry, but introduces corporate training. So now we need to know how to set up a new service item. She now decides that she wants to sell yoga mats. We have to introduce inventory. So everything is built around the same storyline. So you get to know the client, which also means that it makes it easier to learn and is much more relatable. All of the practice exercises are also built around this entire storyline. The other thing is, I mentioned it earlier on that we provide a copy of a QuickBooks Online database for them to practice in that has sample data in it. And the sample data is also Build-A-Body around the same storyline. Okay, so in the accounts payable, we first talk about the company background. And then down here are the objectives, as I mentioned, that are as they go through the section. So this is the main page of the module. And so you can't actually check these ones off. They're driven by, as they check off the information on the other pages. So as they check off the videos that they've watched, and they actually can't check off the videos that they watch, they actually have to watch the whole video. And when they've watched the video, the objective checks off automatically. I'm logged in as a manager and as an admin, so that I can demo this for you and don't have to make you sit and watch through the videos. But once they watch the video, the objectives check off automatically. It gives them a little grid across the top that says, okay, you've watched 67% and you've watched 100%. And then you'll see that it starts to check off the information. Every section has a module which is called the reality, because as you know, it doesn't always work the way it's supposed to work. And so we talk about accounts payable, how to do it manually, how to do it in QuickBooks Online, how to automate it. And then we talk about the reality of what it actually looks like when your client is giving you stuff and not necessarily giving it to you in the right order. How is it when you're actually doing bookkeeping that it's going to look? And that's what we go through the accounts payable. And if we jump to the exercises, as I mentioned, there are exercises where they download the practice questions. We do concept reviews at the end of each module to make sure that they get a good understanding of what the important things were that they should have picked up. And then there is a quiz at the bottom. And the quiz at the bottom, I got 96%. That's awesome. You'd think that I wrote the test that I should get 100. But basically, it's a multiple choice quiz down at the bottom, and they have to get 80% in order for the module to be checked off or the objective to be checked off. And once they check off the objective, or once the objective is checked off for the quiz, then the next module is going to open up. So as I said, it's based on a 90-day program, but it doesn't have to be 90 days. You certainly can have them spend more time, and after they complete one module, get 80% on the quiz, they can just go through and move on to the next module. They don't have to go by the weekly schedule that we've provided. And of course, reinforcement is so important through the whole thing. So after they pass the quizzes, they get a Kninja Warrior certificate. And I'm not sure whether it will actually show it to me here or not. But let's see. I don't know if you guys can see that. Does that show up on your screen or it doesn't? No. Oh, maybe it does. No, it doesn't, because it opened up in another window. Take my word for it. They get a certificate which says that they're a Kninja Warrior, and one of the objectives that they have to achieve or that they have to complete is they have to email those certificates to you as the manager or the owner so that you know where it is and how they are progressing. If they get stuck anywhere, there's a need assistance button in every panel. As well, I mentioned there is the chat channel. So that I think that's the tour of the Kninja 90 program. See if there's any questions, which I don't think that there are, or they're not showing up here. But I ended up starting late, so it ended up not being at 4:15. So apologize for that. If you end up watching this later, shoot me some questions down at the bottom. I'm happy to answer them all. As I said, the program is, well, all of the programs in Kninja are 60% off on Black Friday. So if you're in Canada, they also qualify for the Canada Job Grant. So not only do you get 60% off, but then after that 60%, you get 50% back from the government because they do qualify. So literally, we don't have to, we're basically training your employee and getting them up to speed almost for free. Not quite for free, but almost for free. So anyways, if you want to, if you have any other questions, shoot me a message below. I'm happy to answer them. If you're ready to go out and purchase, well, I would wait till Friday. Don't purchase it today. Purchase it on Friday because the sale doesn't start till Friday. But you just go to kninja.net, which of course that's not even I'm in my demo. So you just go to kninja.net. And if you go to the resources, here's all of our programs. So the Kninja 90 training program is this one that we just walked through. If you've attended the sessions that Steve and I have done for our hiring process, we now have the hiring process that we are selling. And the hiring process, we give you all of our templates, all of our ads, all of our scripts, and step-by-step walk you through with videos of how to replicate that hiring process. But then there's a whole bunch of stuff as well down here. Some of it's free, so Black Friday, not a big deal. But with year-end coming, we do have a year-end template somewhere in here. There we go. Year-end bookkeeping checklist. We've got site assessment checklist, employee onboarding checklist. So all of those are all going to be 60% off as well. Anyways, so that is my demo. I hope that you found it useful. And if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing from you. Hope everyone has a fabulous evening. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wine and Whiskey Wednesday.